All right, let's start out laying down today. So I just want you to release your entire body weight into the floor here. Allow your shoulders to press heavily into the floor, and maybe you have a little bend in your knees. I find that doing that helps the low back to release a little bit, okay? Especially if you've spent a day sitting and doing things, which most of us have, okay? Even standing and doing things. Allow the low back to kind of neutralize toward the floor. Take some big, luxurious breaths into your big chest and your big belly, and just let your torso spread open with your breath. Embrace the bigness of the inhale. And let the exhales be very complete. Pulling inward toward the spine. The pelvic floor pulls inward. The chest compresses inward. Even the lowest ribs wrap inward a little bit. Notice that special roar that the breath makes in your ears. Okay, you can think of it as an ocean roar or a breath or a wind breath. To me, it sounds like wind in trees. Let that sound kind of wash over your mind. And I think laying and being still with the eyes closed like this really lends itself to some nice imagination time, some visualization. And when transitioning from life off the mat into the space of your practice, right? It's a very special place. We don't need to bring all the other life stuff with us. As a matter of fact, we don't really need to bring much at all to the mat. So allow yourself to use the breath here and transition intentionally. Inhale, gathering up all that air into your lungs, all that fresh potential. And exhale, let everything go that is not this moment right now. This is all we really need right now. With each breath, feel your body surrendering a little more to gravity. Notice your jaw. Can you put some relaxed softness in your jaw, and your back molars are moving away from each other? Right, let's bring in a little movement. So keep your big breath, keep your attention to this moment. And we'll start with bent knees, sway the knees side to side. Give it a nice slow rhythm. Side to side. And you can make this very passive and let gravity do most of the work. Or you can start to put in a greater percentage of the effort and move the knees downward, more focused effort in the hips, inner and outer. And of course, when we use that hip tissue, we warm it and we balance it out. And let this movement roll up through your back, okay? Keep the upper body as grounded as you can, and maybe start to use your upper body here to actively resist the floor and become that much more stable. So the more we resist the floor here, pushing down into the hands, pushing down in the legs, the more it allows us to release the front body And if you like here, pick your feet up. Go ahead and put your knees together and keep it going. So your feet are off the ground now. And you can hover the knees side to side. Maybe take your arms out wider and get a stretch in your chest. Okay, next time you drop your knees out to one side, just whatever side it is, let them fall. Fidget your hips a little bit away from the direction your knees are pointing so that you can have a nicer twist here. And let's just hold this twist. Looking out to the other side, away from your knees. Big breath into the chest, long spine. Maybe one more big breath here. And then other side, let's just take the knees over. Scoot the hips a little bit away from the knees so that they're more in line with your spine. And look away. Big chest. Maybe one more big breath, feeling already some nice release in the front body. The magic of a twist. Twists are super magical. They just wring everything out. So bring the legs back in. And I want to really warm us up here because it's cold in this room. Okay, go ahead and put your hands on your knees. Okay, and then your thighs. Just kind of push against your thighs. But at the same time, push your thighs back against your hands. So you'll feel your whole core kind of snap to it. And then if it's okay with your neck, peel your head and shoulders up. And long neck, please. Breathe. Push your legs. Legs push you. And you're hovering the back of your head. So really keeping a neck long on all sides, especially in the front. Breathe. So play here with what's possible. What happens if you push more into your hands? Do you feel your low back kind of trying to arch up off the mat? What happens when you push your knees a little more? Oh, it pushes your shoulders to the floor and it's a little harder. So find a nice equilibrium there. Take a moment to discover where that equilibrium is. And then lengthen your spine even more. Think of looking up at the ceiling here, hovering the back of your head. Very nice. For 3 more breaths. You can do this. 2 more breaths. Maybe increase the press between the hands and legs. Maybe for your last breath, you press even more. Go ahead and let that go. Whew. Okay, your core should be feeling pretty lit right now. Go ahead and tuck your hands behind your knees. Let's rock and roll a little bit. Rock it up. See if you could balance up top and roll it down. Take it a few more times. Make it feel nice. Don't take it too seriously. Maybe 3 more rocks like this. Balance and roll. 2 more. Okay, come up and hold right here. Let's hang out in our boat for a little while. So I'd like to get a little more core work in, really get warm from the inside. Feel free always to drop your feet. Not a problem. You can drop your feet, put your hands down if you need to. But I want you to really lengthen your spine here. Point your tailbone at your toes and wrap your belly button so far into your spine that your low back actually rolls onto the mat, and you pause there. Try to exhale as you roll yourself back up. Okay, some good work here. So use your hands if you need to. Inhale on the roll back to Ardha Navasana, half boat. And exhale to roll it back up to a full boat. You can do this. Let's do it 3 more times. If you want extra challenge, pike up to a long leg boat and reach past your feet. Okay, inhale to the Ardha Navasana. Pike it up again. For your last roll down to Ardha Navasana, pause and hold right here with me. Half boat, breathe. If you need a break, pull your knees in by your chest, okay? But try to stay here. Pull the knees in if you need a break. Now, if you want extra spice, if you're feeling kind of extra, reach for the back of the room with your hands. Point your toes, squeeze your feet together, try to touch your fingers together, and wrap your low back down to the floor for 3 more breaths. Bend your knees into your chest if your low back hurts. 2 more breaths. Checking in with your low back still. 1 more breath. Okay, I want you to exhale and roll up to a boat. And then drop your feet. Okay, definitely warmed up that core. Point your knees out to one side and let's roll over 2 hands and knees. That was a good challenge. Okay, from here, tuck your toes, hover your knees. Let's breathe. Remember, you can always drop a knee, drop 2 knees, do what you need to do. But resist the floor with some good upper body strength and lower body strength. Remember to wrap the belly button into your spine. Pull the elbows inward. Feel your legs start to warm up here. Push the floor. 1 more big breath in. And exhale, press it up to down dog. Inhale, hover the knees just off the mat. Tabletop back, belly button up. Exhale, down dog. 1 more time. Inhale, hover it. Pull your heart forward past your thumbs. And exhale, down dog. Okay, let's walk it out a little bit here. Shake your head. Ooh. It's nice to let the head hang after all that strength in the back and core from the boat. Okay, grip the mat with your hands here. Think of pulling your feet back, away. And maybe for our first down dog, we could maybe walk the fingers out an inch further past where they are and get a little extra length in the spine. If hanging out in down dog is something that is just not super exciting for you, you can always bend your knees and come down to hands and knees, okay? I know that sometimes I tend to put us in down dog for a long time. So big breath in here. Let's get that right leg up and out behind. Let's move. Exhaling here, pull that right knee forward. Hold it close into your chest. Really tuck it in like you're trying to kiss it. Inhale, send the right leg up and back. Exhale here, drop the right foot between your hands. Okay, inhaling here, coming up to a crescent lunge. Exhale here, a big twist out to the right. Okay, we're going to come back to the crescent lunge. Transitioning back, inhale, crescent lunge. Think of squeezing those legs toward each other, lifting the heart a little bit more each time. Okay, exhale, again, twist, look over your right shoulder. You can drop the back knee if you need to, okay? Because it's balancing. Okay, 1 more time. Inhale, crescent lunge. Squeeze your legs toward each other. Heart lifts. Exhale. Big twist out to the right. Let's hold here. We're going to breathe and take a little time here. If you need a break, drop the back knee, okay? Same place. We're still in the same place. But if your legs are, okay, you're using your legs, so you want to be resisting the floor. So push down into that right heel and pull it back. Really press down into the left toes, push back through the left heel, and drop a little lower. Maybe you'd like to stay right here. Maybe you take the right hand, your back hand, toward the back leg, the left leg. Okay, you can just grab it, or maybe you reach the left hand up. Take a few more breaths here, okay? Try to reach into all corners of this posture and take up a whole lot of space. Be super conspicuous. Maybe for your last breath here, you even roll your heart up into the ceiling. Pull the belly button in. Nice work, yogis. Exhale, hands all the way back down under the front, by the front foot, and we'll send it back to down dog. Walk it out here in your dog. Let's take a vinyasa just to clear that out, okay? Feel free to skip vinyasas and just take a break. Inhaling here, heart moves forward. Exhale, step to your hands, big fold here. Roll it up for your inhale, pushing into your heels. Heart lifts as you reach up. Exhale, try to look up as you drop your tailbone into your chair posture. Utkatasana, put a squeeze between your knees. Inhale to stand, heart up. Exhale to hinge down and fold. You can bend the knees a lot here if you like. Halfway up on your inhale, unroll your spine. Big fold on the exhale, bending knees, hanging head. Shake it off. Palms are down. Inhale to plank, step it back. Slowly, very slowly, elbows in, lower yourself down. Slow, slow. Take it slow. And then inhale, cobra. Press your tailbone down, pull your heart up. Exhale, down dog. Nice and slow vinyasa is such a great way to start out, just getting the joints nice and warm. Okay. Check out your down dog. Activate your hands. Pull your arms inward toward the center of your body and do the same with your legs. The legs are activating up and inward. Okay, you can feel a really good strength running down the center of your body if you pull the limbs in. Okay, second side. From your down dog, inhale the left leg up and out behind you, please, into the sky. And exhale, curl the knee into your chest, round your upper back, shoulders over wrists, hover, maybe kiss your knee. And inhale, left leg up and out behind. Exhale, drop the foot between your hands. Prepare for a crescent lunge. On your inhale, sweep your hands up, lift your heart as you strengthen your legs into the ground. Big twist on your exhale. Look out to the left, balance, and look behind you. It's balancy. Okay, coming back to your crescent lunge. Inhale, strong legs, heart lifts. Nice and slow. Big exhale as you twist to the left. Balance and sink into it. One more. Big breath in, crescent. Pick your heart up. Big exhale, twist it. And fall and hold right here. I will spin around to face you. You are twisting, so get the spine nice and long, please. And the legs very strong, so resist the floor with some really rocking leg strength. Maybe stay here, maybe drop the right knee, the back knee. Or maybe back hand finds back leg. Front hand goes up. Breathe. Okay, push the floor away. Let the legs get warm here. Just embrace that warmth. Maybe your last breath, you peel your heart up and open to the ceiling. And then let yourself come all the way down. Okay, palms under shoulders, back to down dog. Okay, let that roll off your back. And let's keep it moving. Inhaling, heart forward to a plank. Take your little vinyasa. Exhaling, walk to your hands and fold. Inhaling, roll it up. Stack your vertebrae. Lift your heart. Exhale into your chair posture. Drop that tailbone. Inhale to stand. Press into your feet. Exhale to fold. Halfway up, inhale. Big fold, exhale. Palms are down. Inhale to plank. Exhale, slowly, slow. Pull the belly button in on your way down. And you can use your knees, of course. Here's your cobra. Inhaling, pull on the mat. Heart lifts up, tailbone goes down. Exhale, down dog. Let's take 5 or 6 breaths here, please. Try to spin your heels so that you can't see them and move them down. And if you think about moving the heels down as you lift your kneecaps up, you'll actually be engaging your quadriceps, which will allow your hamstrings to let go. So engage those quads. The hamstrings should respond with a little bit more space. See if you could lift your toes maybe and kind of suck up the center of your arch. Okay, it's fun to visualize these little alignment cues. So you're always aligning yourself, you're always double checking, and you just internalize these cues. All right, let's keep moving. Inhaling here, let's get that right leg up and out behind. Exhale here, drop that foot between your hands. We're gonna walk our hands out to the left and take a forward fold, a Y leg forward fold here. So maybe you take your feet a little further if you're more interested in a nice stretch on the insides of your legs. Maybe you take your feet further away. Okay, maybe if you are more interested in lengthening your spine and allowing your low back to release, you take your feet in a little closer. But I want you to find the perfect length. Maybe you're letting your head hang. Okay. Maybe you're kind of more on your elbows and you want like more of a split kind of feeling. But I kind of want you to just hang out and take a few breaths. Find a nice push down in your legs. So your legs are not just passive here. They're actively pressing down and a little bit in toward each other. And you're still lifting from the arch and just pulling that, like you're pulling your bones up and in towards your hip sockets. Okay, breathe here. If your spine is hanging, see there's about an inch between your head and the floor, so you really have some space. If you're enjoying the stretch in the backs of your legs, you can even grab on the outside of your legs and pull your heart a little closer toward the line of your knees. As you're ready, come back up on your hands. So hands back up underneath your shoulders. Okay, and we'll walk the hands back over by the right foot. Let's drop the left knee and come down into a low lunge. Okay, let's take a little moment to sink down into this low lunge. So remember that when we're here, we still need to resist the floor at least a little bit. So I like to say just maybe put 5 to 10% of your full effort on it. Just a little resistance. The right heel is trying to push down and pull back a little bit. And the left knee is trying to drag forward a little bit. So you want to feel your legs turn on. And let's just breathe here. Just want to think of kind of sinking down toward the floor and maybe getting a little lower every few breaths. So maybe you want to come down to one elbow, maybe 2 elbows, who knows? And let your head hang. And even if you're up on your hands, let your head hang anyway and look at your hips. And if you notice that your left hip is really close to the ground and your right hip is higher, see if you could level them off. Just do your best. Okay, 1 or 2 more breaths here. It feels nice just to kind of let gravity do most of the work sometimes. Just put in a little bit of work on our part. Okay, from here, come back up on your hands. we'll pull the right hip back. So pull it back. Okay, and do your best to keep your long spine. So it might be hard to keep the spine long sometimes while you're doing this. So then just put a little bend in your right knee. No problem. Just bend that knee. Pull back on that right hip. So flexing the foot will get you a nice stretch in your right calf. And if you bend the knee more, you can get still a really good stretch on the outside of the right hip. So maybe if you like to get it more into the IT band here and that right outer hip and the glute, you can even walk your hands over to the right and point the right toes out to the right, even dropping the outer edge of the foot to the floor. And then keep pulling that right hip back. Maybe 1 or 2 more breaths here. It's nice work in that outer hip. All right, as you're ready, bring that back in. We're bringing the hands down in front, underneath shoulders, and tuck the back toes. We'll step it back to down dog. Walk your heels out here. Notice how the back of the right leg feels compared to the back of the left. And we'll take a vinyasa. You can skip it, just rest, or come along. Inhale here, find your plank. We're gonna hop or step to the hands on the exhale. Fold. Roll it up, inhale, heart up. Exhale into your chair, look up. Inhale to stand. Exhale to fold. Halfway up, inhale. Big fold, exhale. All right, palms are down. Inhale to plank. You can hop it or step it, yogi's choice. Hop all the way down slowly, exhale. Inhale for cobra or hovering your legs into an up dog. Okay, another yogi's choice here. And exhale, roll it back to down dog. 5 or 6 breaths here, yogis. Maybe close your eyes. Okay, find that wrapping inward feeling, pulling up bones, plugging themselves into sockets, shoulders, hips. Okay, feel the length in your spine and exaggerate it a little bit. Use that long spinal column. Stretch it out into its full glory. Okay, inhaling, left leg up and out behind. Exhaling, drop that left foot between your hands. And we're walking out to the right side for another wide leg forward fold. I'll spin around to meet you. Okay, so same thing on this side. I want you to either take your feet close in and hang your spine if you're wanting more length in your spine and release in the backs of your legs. Okay, you can think of pointing the toes inward and just letting the spine hang. Or I want you to explore more of an inner thigh and hip opening, okay, by walking your feet away from each other. So if you want, you can come down to your elbows. Make sure that there's no pain in your legs and you keep your hips in line with your feet all the time. And we'll just take a few more breaths here, just kind of exploring wherever you are. You can think of rolling your arches up away from the floor and dropping into the outer edges of the feet here. And of course, the more time you spend, the better. But for our purposes tonight, let's just take 2 more breaths here. Okay, whether you're hanging or playing around with a nice hip opener on the floor. And then we'll all meet back up in a forward fold. Wide leg forward fold. Go ahead and walk your hands over by your left foot and drop that right knee down into another low lunge. So now we're on the other side. And we'll sink down into this low lunge and just enjoy it. So take your time. We're just going to let time and gravity do a lot of the work here. But do a little bit. Resist the floor just enough. 5 to 10%. Left heel is pulling back. Right knee is trying to move forward. Resist. And then perhaps that gives you the freedom to release a little bit and drop down into your elbows. I think it's fascinating that when we activate certain areas of our bodies that it allows us to release more profoundly in others. So check out your hips, make sure they're level. Do what you can to keep them leveled off. Remember to keep your neck long if you're hanging your head. But I do recommend hanging your head. Okay, take your time kind of rolling yourself back up onto your hands if you are on your elbows. And we'll get a little bit more into the left hamstring now by pulling back on the left hip. Okay, you can be on your fingertips, you can be on a block with your hands on the floor, whatever, but just support your upper body somehow, please. And that's going to help you to lengthen your upper body. And that's something we need to kind of be aware of here because it's hard to remember. So upper body stays long. You're pulling back on your left hip as you kind of kick down into the left heel. So give a little kick down and give a little bend in the knee. Okay, feeling the back of that leg release. You might even decide you want to get more into the outer hip, glute, IT, and point the toes to the left and then walk your hands to the left. Keep pulling the left hip back. Maybe one more breath here. And then bring the hands back in. Bring it all back in. Tuck the back toes. Let's send it back to down dog. All right, let's take a little vinyasa. Clear that out. Heart moves forward on the inhale. Exhale, hop. Step to your hands. Inhale, roll it up. Exhale, sit down into your chair. Inhale, back up to standing. And exhale, folding. Palms are down. Inhale to plank. You can hop or step. Exhale all the way down. Inhale here. Find a really nice big cobra. And then I want you to stay in this cobra. So maybe you bring it down a little bit closer to the ground. Maybe you put your hands under your shoulders and just take a moment, arching your spine up off the floor, rolling your shoulder blades down behind your chest, okay, behind your rib cage. And if it's all right with your low back, point the tailbone at the floor and lift your legs. And breathe here. Find a little length in the backs of your legs as they lift you. And maybe the hands are floating too. You might even reach them behind you. Okay, we've cultivated a lot of release in the front of your body today. So using the profound strength in the back of your body should feel easy as you lift, okay, and open the front body even more. Remember to keep the back of your neck long, so though it's tempting to kind of try to look up here, do your best to look more down. Maybe join your hands behind you. Lift. Okay, we'll take a few more breaths here, just opening that front body, getting a nice back extension. If it feels good, you can bend your knees and reach your hands back for your ankles, and then you can move your ankles back. But it's not necessary, just a little fun. A fun little bow pose. Okay, maybe take one more breath here. And then release your back extension. Come all the way down to the ground. Just rest your head. And let that nice back bend just kind of wash over you. As you're ready, bring your hands up underneath your shoulders. Tuck your toes. And press your hips up so that they're over your knees. And then leave them right there. Walk your hands out away from your feet. And give the mat some gentle resistance with your hands as you let your heart fall. And we'll take a few breaths here, yogis, okay? You can rest your head on the floor, you can rest your chin, you can look at your hands, it's really up to you. But no matter where you are, lift your lower belly away from the floor to allow your upper chest to drop. Lower belly lift, upper chest down. Maybe one more breath here in your open heart pose, Anahatasana. And then walk your hands back up and in. From here, find a seat. Find a comfortable seat, okay? And let's try half lotus tonight, maybe if you would like a comfortable seat suggestion. Okay. If you take one foot, just grab whichever one you think will make the most sense tonight. Pick it up and put it near the hip crease of the other foot, okay? So that the foot kind of flips up toward you, okay? Then you can allow that top knee to rest however you like. You can rest it on the floor. You can rest it on the bottom foot. I kind of like to do that sometimes. And this is a half lotus. So try this maybe for a few breaths on each side. Who knows? But we'll take a little twist here in your half lotus. So take one hand to the other knee, one hand across to the opposite knee. Take the other hand behind you and just twist. With your inhales, take a long spine. And with your exhales, pull your belly button into your spine. One more breath like this. And then bring it back to center. Okay, if you tried a half lotus, maybe switch the crossing here. You can put the top leg on the bottom and the bottom leg on top. Try it out. Pull that foot close in towards your hip crease. And then we'll twist in the opposite direction. So one hand comes across to the other knee, other hand behind, long spine, inhale. Belly button to spine, exhale. Maybe one more breath here. All right, bring that back to center. All right, my friends, maybe switch the crossing of your legs. Maybe find any comfortable seat. Maybe try full lotus. You can have one foot already tucked in next to the opposite hip crease. Maybe you try to bring the other foot in toward the hip crease. And even if you're just kind of working in that direction, as long as it feels good, just try it out. Nice breath here, sitting up tall. No longer controlling your breath or your body, just being. Feel the breath come in and out. And watch the thoughts float by like clouds. Just take a moment to luxuriate in being and let your practice kind of wash over you. And please keep resting like this for as long as you can. Thanks so much for joining me.